All right. So now that you generated your column of values for cotangent, we divided cosine by sine, right? And then we're dividing by zero, we put undefined, and we know now that this represents an asymptote on our graph, right? All right. So in this video resource, I will be showing you how to graph cotangent given this information that you generated. Okay. Essentially, we're going to follow the same format that we did when we were graphing tangent. But if you forgot, I'll walk you through it. Okay. No problem. So if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and open up a new tab for your Desmos calculator. And then the first thing we will do is we are going to fix um, the viewing window so that it best represents what we are going to graph. Okay, so go ahead and click on this little graph settings gear, the little wrench. It looks like a little wrench, yeah. And then on the x-axis, we're going to go from negative 2 pi to positive 2 pi. Okay, and then for the step, let's do pi over 12, just like we did for tangent. Okay, and then in the y-axis, I think we did negative 10 to positive 10. So let's do that. And then for step, we'll do a step of 1. Make sure you are in radians like we've been doing so far. And I think we're ready. So let's go ahead and click on this little graph settings icon again. And let's start. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the angle in radians, right, which is negative pi over 2. And then now we're going to be graphing it with these values on this cotangent column. Okay, but just like we did in the first graph for tangent, let's go ahead and graph our asymptotes first. And we will still represent our asymptotes as vertical lines, right? As vertical lines that are broken. Okay. All right. So where do we get our first undefined value? We get it when our angle in radians is 0, right? Here, it's in 0. So let's go back to our calculator and we're going to type x equals 0. That will be our first vertical asymptote. And as always, click on the little gear, click on the color. Make sure you choose a broken line. And then let's go ahead and just choose red for now. Red is fine. Okay. And then for those of you who are probably thinking that it's too light, you could change the thickness of our line. If you type in 4 here, it's a little darker. Those that want to see it a little darker, you could do 6, and then you could see it a little darker. It's up to you as long as you could see it. I'll just leave that value there for now, and I'll click done. Okay? So again, that's our first vertical asymptote. And now let's go back to our table of values. And where is the other asymptote for this column for cotangent? It looks to be right here, right? Okay, so where is our other asymptote? It's going to be located at pi. At pi. So at pi, we are undefined. So let's go to here. We're going to say x equals pi. Okay, and look, if I just type in pi, I get pi. I'm going to change the gear again. Let's make it red to be consistent with our first line. Broken, and then I think I used 6 to over exaggerate the thickness there. And then I'll click done. Okay? All right, so that's my second Vertical asymptote because, again, I could see it from here. And then there's one more that we have in our table, and that happens at 2 pi, right? So at 2 pi, I'm going to say x equals 2 pi. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the little gear. Let's change it to red. Broken line. And again, I'm going to use 6 as the weight of the line. And then I'll click done. And then you can barely see it here on my right edge of my screen. So I'm just going to click and move to the left a little bit like that. That way you could see the other vertical asymptote. Okay? All right, so now that we've graphed our 3 locations of where we get an undefined value for our cotangent column, now it's time to plot our points. And I'll do the first couple with you, but then you could go ahead and continue on your own, all right? Okay, so our first that we are going to plot is negative pi over 2, right? Negative pi over 2, comma, 0, because that's what we have for our value at negative pi over 2. So again, it's negative pi over 2, comma, 0. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say parenthesis, negative pi over 2. And I think I have caps lock on. So let me try that again. Yeah, there we go. Negative pi over 2, comma, 0. Enter. And there's my first point right there. Okay, next, it's negative pi over 3. And then I have this value. And remember, you don't have to memorize this. Just right click, copy it. Okay? And just remember that you are at negative pi over 3. So let's go here, parenthesis, negative pi over 3, and then comma, and then on your keyboard, just press Control V. And then we have our other value, and press Enter. And there we have it. Okay, let's keep going on along our table here. So it's at negative pi over 4, negative 1. Again, negative pi over 4, negative 1. So I'm going to say parenthesis, negative pi over 4, comma, negative 1. Enter. There's my other point. Seguimos. Negative pi over 6. And I'm going to, again, right-click on this column and copy it. So I'm going to say negative pi over 6. And then comma. And then Control V on your keyboard. Press Enter. Okay, looks like we're generating our points. I'm going to continue. So negative pi over 6. 0 undefined, and if you remember, we already did that one right there, like boom. So let's go on to the next one. Pi over 6, and I'm going to right click this one and copy. So next it's going to be pi over 6, comma, and Control V. Enter. Okay. I'm going to do pi over 4, 1. So that one's easy to remember. Pi over 4, comma, 1. Enter. Okay, next, pi over 3, this value, right click and copy. So pi over 3, pi over 3, pi over 3, comma, Control V on my keyboard, enter. All right, let's keep going. Pi over 2, we were at 0. So pi over 2, comma, 0, enter. All right, 2 pi over 3, I'm going to right click here and copy. 2 pi over 3. So 2 pi over 3, and then comma, and then paste my value. All right, keep going. 3 pi over 4, negative 1. 3 pi over 4, comma, negative 1. Enter. Okay, next. 5 pi over 6. I'm going to right click this value and copy. 5 pi over 6. And comma, paste my value, press enter. Okay. Here we're undefined. We already did that one. That's our other vertical asymptote, right? And then keep going. 7 pi over 6. I want to right click this value and copy. So we're going to do 7 pi over 6, and then comma, paste my value, and press enter. All right, I know I said I was just going to do the couple with you, and then you'll do them on your own. I'm just going to continue doing this. And if you feel like you got it, just keep going. Okay, keep going. All right, next one is 5 pi over 4, 1. So I have 5 pi over 4, comma 1. Okay, and then you could see that I'm already generating values over here on this end. Okay, 4 pi over 3. I'm going to right click this value and copy. So again, I'm at 4 pi over 3 now. And paste my value. I'll keep going. Almost there. 3 pi over 2, 0. So we have 3 pi over 2, comma, 0. Enter. And then we have 5 pi over 3. Let's right click this value and copy. So I'm at 5 pi over 3. Paste my value and press enter. And then I got a couple more to go. 7 pi over 4, negative 1. 7 pi over 4, negative 1. And then we got one more to go. Right click this one and copy. 11 pi over 6. So we got 11 pi over 6, comma, paste my value, press enter. And then just to confirm, the last one is undefined, 2 pi undefined. And remember, we already graphed the vertical asymptote there. Okay, so this is how you plot your values given our table here for cotangent now, right? Cotangent. All right, so hopefully this video resource helps.